this meeting of the Finance Committee to order. We do have a quorum, and so our first item is our public comment. Are there any public comments? No public comment. Next, we have our finance action items, which is the purchasing agenda. Ms. Cribbs, or actually, I'll let you review this. Do you have any concerns or questions for Ms. Cribbs with regards to the purchasing agenda?
Just the general fund ones.
I'm sorry, 1 second. The meeting is in order. Thank you.
I really appreciated the document Dr. Roby shared with us over the weekend that had like a Q&A section, and it just kind of broke down a little bit deeper like what each of them are. And so my only questions are for those four and the general fund. Could you take a second to explain them?
Okay. Is that we're on the purchasing agenda though? So that's in a different area. So we're looking at specifically the purchasing agenda.
Yeah, and specifically for the general fund one.
So, for example, like
Oh,
that first one,
yes,
the
number
My
one.
School at Kent.
1A.
Okay. So the tuition from My School at Kent, the ISD runs a secondary program, and we receive still the foundation allowance for those students because they are our students attending that program. So at the end of the year, the ISD bills us for the students and the hours that they attended that program. So it's one that traditionally comes through late in the year because they bill us for actual students and actual days.
Got it.
The next item down is a renewal of our Discovery Ed Science textbook. That's a science curriculum for us that we've had for several years. And then the Miller, Johnson, and the Troon are additional items have come up again for legal services, so increasing those blanket purchase orders again.
Thank you.
Did you have another question?
No.
Do you have a question?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Rhonda. With the support materials and services, with those, just to clarify, so so let's use Miller Johnson as the example right now. The total amount after this would be $126,000.
Correct.
Okay, so originally it was a $75,000, and now we're coming back to review a $26,000 increase, right? Okay.
We did a modification earlier in May.
Yep.
And now we needed to up it a little. We weren't as good at predicting in May as we should have been.
Okay, and these are just, the billable hours that the law firm is charging. Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Melton, any questions?
No questions.
No questions? All righty. If there are no other questions, is there a motion to move forward the purchasing agenda to the full board?
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, next we have our donation for Idaho Hills High School Athletic Boosters Club.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I can say it is exciting. If you remember last Finance Committee, some of the boosters were actually here to discuss it and bring it forward. So we've dotted our I's and crossed our T's, so we are bringing the donation forward. Exciting that they've been out there working so hard. Meyer is donating the scoreboards. Consumers Credit Union has made a significant donation as well for the installation, and as well as other smaller donors, but to make this project happen. So
Wonderful.
we're excited.
Any questions with regards to the donation?
Should agree.
Is there,
Wait,
you have a question?
I just want to say, I've said this before, but I think it bears repeating. I'm really appreciative of everybody involved in making this happen, and I think this is a good example of the things we should be uplifting and encouraging. And you're the professional, and you have the expertise. Rhonda, if there's ever at any point you see an area where we can streamline or simplify the process, that way we can uplift these sort of things to move through faster, I just want to voice my support for that. So thank you so much for your hard work on it.
Well, that's part of it. If you notice that we're doing kind of a non-traditional, they're going straight to the board tonight, so we can stay on
Yep,
track and
exactly.
try to keep these, because that fall athletic season will be here before we know it. So.
Anything else? Is there a motion to approve the donation for Idaho Hills High School Athletic Boosters Club?
So moved.
Second.
Is there support?
Support.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, next, our donation for Safe Routes to School Mini Grant.
So this is one that for our museum high school, they worked with the teacher and some of the students actually wrote a grant to the Michigan Fitness Foundation for the Safe Routes to School to kind of fund some of their museum school bike shop and some of the non-route there. So we just received notification that they have been awarded this small mini grant.
Questions?
No, I just want to uplift that as well. Museum, one of the things they do really well is skateboards, bikes, it doesn't really matter. They make a place for them in the building. Most schools, that is not the case for. You cannot take them, you can't bring them in school, and this is just a very open community towards things that are really helpful for our environment. Yeah, I support it.
Wonderful. Is there a motion to take the Safe Routes to School mini grant forward to the full board?
So moved.
Support?
Support.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Next, we have our donation from the Grouper Model School Conference.
So this is when some of our staff over the last several years have been able to attend the Model School Conference. With it being out of state, the Grouper board, they have their own separate board and their own fundraising as well, has agreed to sponsor some of our staff from Grouper to attend the Model School Conference this summer.
Okay. Questions, concerns?
I did want to ask, I should have asked this in advance. Do we know how many staff members from the district will be able to attend? It's okay if we don't. I'm just
I
curious.
believe it's 3.
3? Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Again, support this idea. Learning for our staff is great.
Alrighty. Is there a motion to move forward the Grouper Model School Conference to the full board?
So moved.
Support?
Support.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, next we have our reports, updates, and discussion with regards to our May 25 financial statements. Mr. Cribbs.
So our May financial statements are presented. Don't have any significant major concerns. We've talked about the ones that I do ongoing as food service, so you'll see that on special revenue as well. General fund is tracking as expected. These are the last monthly financial statements that we prepare because going into June and the next several weeks through August, the business office will be switching from the cash basis financials that we do monthly to the full accrual, modified accrual basis that government entities like Grand Rapids Public Schools use, and start to record accounts payable, make sure we've got all our accounts receivable recorded, do payroll accruals for some of the payroll because we've got the time lag. So some of our payroll that relates to June, prior to June 30 actually gets paid out in July. So there's a lot of work that will go on in the next several weeks, like I said, into August. So we just kind of like, okay, we don't do monthly financial statements because for June, just because there's so much, and we don't want to put a statement out there that's different than what our annual audit is as well. And then typically we don't do a July statement because much of the activity that goes through in July actually relates to the prior fiscal year. So the first, we'll do a July and August combined monthly financial statement, so that will come to you at your September Finance Committee meeting. So just wanted to kind of re-highlight that for you as well. It's not that we're not doing work, because we'll be doing just a lot of work in the next few weeks to close out this fiscal year, get the next fiscal year up and running as well. So any questions on the financial statements?
You said that the statement will look different. You called it something else. Will you do like a training on that?
Our annual financial
yeah.
statements?
Yeah. Only because I'm assuming it looks a lot different than this version?
Yeah, it's,
Yes.
if you've seen it, it's like the 100-page
Mm.
booklet
Oh,
of
okay.
financial
I don't want a
statements.
training on a 100-page. Okay.
So
Maybe I can
last
take a
year's
look at
is
it.
posted on our website.
Okay, I'll just peek at that
So if
one.
you want to take
Yes.
a peek through that, it does offer a lot of good information. I know like some of the information, the questions that were coming through, that information is like in our footnotes
Mhm.
that are related to there.
Okay, great.
So it does have a lot of good information, but it's a lot to digest in one sitting. So you might
Mhm.
want to take it in bite-sized pieces.
Mhm.
And Trustee Williams, are we, maybe you don't know this, but getting that at a work session next month? As opposed to a formal board meeting?
Getting what?
The 100-page document.
Oh, no, that's our
Yeah,
annual
so it's
financial
still-
statement.
right, but
It will come in after the audit's complete, so
Mm-hmm.
our auditors will be here in September to do the
Oh.
annual audit.
You're right, yep.
And as we finalize it, then it usually comes to an October work session.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, what I would suggest, but maybe I'll talk to Ms. Davis about that, is just having it at a work session, yeah,
Yeah,
versus a
we
formal
typically
presentation,
try to
so we
get
can
it
ask
to a work
questions.
session.
Great.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Is there anything else, Ms. Cribs?
Nope, that's all I have.
Alrighty, we do not have any policies, so this meeting is adjourned.